Today I'm going to be showing you guys a method of correct score trading. Now this one is very simple. All you're going to be doing is backing 3 separate correct scores on the market, and then as the game goes on for the first 10 minutes, them odds are going to drop and you'll hopefully be able to extract some profit. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys a live trade from what I did last night after doing some research on this strategy. I'll talk you guys through some of the advantages of this strategy, some of the disadvantages of this strategy, and I'll wrap up at the end with whether or not I actually think this one's worth doing. As always, I'm a beginner when it comes to Betfair trading like this. What I mainly like to do is look up new strategies, give them a quick go as a beginner to see how easy they are to follow. Hopefully, I prefer it if they go wrong, just so I can show you guys what happens if it doesn't go right. But if you like any of the strategies I do here, I please do recommend that you research them a bit more. Make sure that you fully understand the risks involved with Betfair before you get on to doing it yourself. But if you're new to this and you like just watching someone else try out random strategies, then be sure to hit the like button and subscribe as well, because both them make such a huge difference. So thank you already for doing that if you plan on doing it over the course of this video. So let me show you here exactly how you do this method. So as you can see here with this game, I went for the Watford Crystal Palace game last night. With this strategy, you want a game where it is going to have a cagey opening 10 minutes and you don't want there to be a goal, because a goal is going to ruin your chance of making profit in this strategy. A single goal in the opening 10 minutes is basically going to make you have a loss and ruin any chance of getting a profit at all. So you want games where there are not going to be a goal in the opening 10 minutes, or at least where you think you'll be able to stay in the market for long enough to make a profit. So you can see here, all I did was selected my game, went to the correct score market, and then selected 0-0, 1-0 to the away side, and 1-0 to the home side. And then the nice little feature you can do over on Betfair is just click on the stake button over in the corner, and then enter how much you want your total stake to be. So again, if you're new here, I like to use smaller stakes on here because, like I said, I'm a beginner with this and I don't want to put too much of my own money up to risk. We are building to a point where I will hopefully do some bigger trades in the future, but for the moment I'm sticking with my smaller stakes, as you should too if you're not comfortable. So I went into this with a whole stake of £10. You enter your full stake there, press OK, and it's going to balance it out evenly between the 3 or however many multiples you've selected. So you can see there it balanced all mine out nicely, in a little bit less than the £10, but that can be expected. So what I did then was just placed that bet. So I placed the bet and then I just had to sit and wait for the game to start. So Watford Crystal Palace, I was really hoping for it to be a nice nervy game and start off quite slowly. And as you can see here now, this was 10 minutes into the game. Now, from the videos I've saw on this strategy and from probably what I agree with through advice I've found online, is with this strategy, you want to get in and out as quickly as you possibly can because of the fact that one goal is going to kill it off. When you've got the under 2.5 goal method, or you've got any other strategy which relies on it being 0-0 for a long period of time, you can sometimes get away with it in them strategies if a goal goes in early. You can either do some sort of insurance to try and protect your profit or to reduce your loss, or you can just in general wait it out and eventually still get a profit. But with this strategy, a goal will just kill off your trades because it makes 2 of the options that you've chosen here, the 0-0 and the 1-0 either way, it makes both of them unavailable. Both of them are now not possible in the slightest, so it instantly wipes out your profit. So with a strategy like this, once a goal's gone in, you're just going to have to cash out and accept your loss. So what people recommend for this strategy is you stay in for up to 10 minutes. Once it hits the 10-minute mark, get out, just because you've been too long in that trade now. Just 10 minutes and then you're done. So that is exactly what I thought I'd do today. So I stuck in with the trade for 10 minutes. I thought if a goal goes in, great, I can show you guys how much you'll lose. If a goal doesn't go in, we'll get out at the 10th minute and that'll be it done. So you can see we got to the 10th minute here. and we extracted £1.36. Now after everything was confirmed in the end, it ended up being £1.74, I do believe, as the final figure. So that's 17% return. And from what I've saw from other people using this method, it looks as like if you last to the 10-minute mark and then cash out, you're going to be getting between 15 and 20% return on average trades. Sometimes you'll get less if the game's been a bit more hectic in terms of chances and everything like that. But a 15 to 20% return after 10 minutes is not too bad at all. It's a very nice little return. So if you're wondering how you actually managed to get the profit out of this, let me just show you guys some screenshots from this. You can see the price graphs for them scores we selected. So the 0-0 price graph, you can see starts off fairly high, then as the game goes on, it drops down. Similarly with the 1-0 to the away side, although a bit more of a jumpy graph based on chances that happen, but it's still a downward slide or a downward trend. And then with the 1-0 to the home side, you can see also here a bit more of a downward trend with a few more spikes. The 0-0 is just going to be a gradual one because that happens with every game. But when it comes to the home and the away team being a 1-0 scoreline, that one's definitely based on chances that happen in the game. So both them will be a bit more drastic with the jumps they have in their graph or in their price as the game goes on. But in the general scheme of things, it will still be a downward trend. So as all three of them have gone down in price, you're going to see profit on your trade. But again, stay till the 10th minute. 10th minute is your point to get out, or a point where you're happy with your return. If you've put in a big trade, for example, gone into this with £200-300, and you've got a return there of £30 after 5 minutes, don't risk it. If you've got a big return already there, don't risk it for the sake of potentially getting more. Especially not in a trade like this that is so volatile that one goal will just ruin it. So just get straight out. So you might now be wondering what happens if a goal goes in. How much do you actually lose? Well, from the examples I've saw, unfortunately I haven't had one lose on me yet because I haven't tried this out too many times. But by the looks of things, you're going to be losing between 65 and 80% of your stake. That is a huge amount of loss. It basically means even if you hit the top mark of your return and get 20% on your trades, it's still going to be roughly 4 trades you need to get, and then one trade can wipe out all that profit. For me, that is not good enough, and I would not recommend this strategy. But if you think you've got the match selection nailed down and think you could use this strategy correctly, by all means go ahead and do it. But there are other things to consider with this. So with this strategy, as you can see here, I've got 3 different selections. A problem that some of you guys who are more advanced Betfair traders will already have spotted here is if it's not the biggest of games, you can have liquidity issues here. You might not have people selecting these markets with you. You might not have enough money in the markets to be able to use this strategy if you're going in with higher stakes. It's another reason I only went in with £10 today. If I'd have done this with £200, we might not have actually been able to get our bets matched, and we might not have been able to even get out of the market if we wanted to later on. So that could be an issue there that is going to possibly hijack any profit you might be able to get. So keep that in mind if you're not using one of the big games, or if you can see that there isn't actually that much value in the game on the Betfair market. But if we take a look, for example, tonight at this game between Newcastle and Burnley, you can see over on the correct score market, there isn't too much traded, so it might not be the best idea to go into this with a high stake. But if you really wanted to follow a method that required no goals at all in the opening 10 minutes, then you could follow one strategy a bit easier, and you could actually just go to the over/under 1.5 goal market and trade the under 1.5 goals. The under 1.5 goals is the exact same market that you're going with the 0-0, the 1-0 and the 1-0. All 3 of them are the exact same combined as the under 1.5 goal market, because they're all having under 1.5 goals. All of them cannot be possible if 2 goals go in a game. So if you were to back under 1.5 goals and back all of them 3 correct score markets, you would have the exact same result. This one is probably a bit more beneficial. You're only backing 1 result instead of 3. You only have 1 market to get matched with, so it might be a bit easier to get your value, your stake matched by another customer. So if you are adamant about using this correct score strategy and you're using it in a game where there isn't as much money available in that market, you could come over to the under 1.5 score market instead and put your stake there. So in my personal opinion, should you use this strategy? Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say no. My favourite strategy is the under 2.5 goal strategy, which is one of the riskiest strategies there is. An early goal does tend to kill off that trade. So you'd think I'd be in favour of this, but honestly I'm not. With other strategies out there, you have countless either insurance strategies to add on to them or recovery strategies to reduce your loss. You've got loads of different helps with your strategies out there, but with this strategy, there is nothing you can do. You are hoping it stays 0-0 and then getting out when you have some profit, but 1 goal kills off any trade you do, and 1 goal potentially wipes out 3 to 4 wins using this trade. It is just not worth it, in my opinion. So although it's a nice thought of a strategy, it returns a nice 15 to 20% when it works, I just don't think it's worthwhile. But let me know down in the comments if you guys have ever used this strategy, or if you enjoy using the strategy and actually think it's worthwhile. Let me know your arguments down below in the comments. But honestly, I think most of you guys will agree with me in saying that this strategy probably isn't one to follow. But I hope you've enjoyed the video anyway. Please hit the like button down below if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe if you're new. It's the whole reason of what this channel is about. We try out things like this to see if they're worthwhile, and I'll give you my opinion. You might agree, you might disagree, but I think for the sake of this one, I think you need to ignore people who say that it's worthwhile, because I don't think it's worth the risk. So hopefully you guys agree with me, but regardless of if you do or not, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. So thank you for watching.